Greetings, fellow breachers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Pacific Drive, Episode 18, The Visions. All right, let's continue with the story. That will be the last run I make. So, reach Tobias's marker. It'd be nice if I spelled Tobias right. Tobias's marker. Which is here. So we'll be G1 to G3 to D2 to Battery Farm. What is there along the way? Touch and go, shocking speed. Oh, Lord. Eerie darkness, anchor obfuscation. So let's get our anchor radar out of storage, because we're going to need it. Fuel evaporation, intense radiation, and Swiss storm. Okay, given that there's fuel evaporation also in the zone, I'm going to unlock the large fuel can blueprint. And make a fuel can. Who would have guessed? Also, don't be an idiot. Fill it up. I say don't be an idiot because a certain idiot made a fuel can and thought it would be full. And then ran out of fuel one run and was like, all right, well, I have that fuel can in the trunk. No, I didn't. I had a metal can in the trunk. It was not a fuel can, it was just an empty can. Alright. Off we go. After I pick up the radar. And, you know, might as well fire off some flares. There's one of the zones that has intense darkness, too. I got trunk space, so I'll cop for it. So one of the oh lords that I said was the touch and go shocking speed. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun zone. That is gonna be a fun zone. Oh, you know what? I never decaled. Yeah, let's do a little decaling. This is a final run, so I'm going to do something gaudy. So first things first, paint stripper, which clears the everything, clears the decals and the paint job. Back to stock. And then, let's just throw the gold paint on. This is the bling run. I already crashed and that armor panel is damaged. Oh, I'm a genius. It's too bad. Yeah, it's too bad I can't paint rims. I don't. And you know what? Black stripes will look okay with gold. Oh, I missed one. Black stripes will look okay with gold paint. Not all decals look great. Like animal stripes look super weird. Only it was this easy to wrap. Imagine trying to wrap these armor panels. Oh my god, look at them. Take you a lifetime to do it right. Too bad I don't have anything purple for the royal touch. Agreed. Alright, well, we got the gold car. Actually looks pretty sweet. Need some swangas. They would get hung up on everything. My tires would pop off. And then Oppie would, and Tobias would probably yell at me for having it. Plus, I'm not in Houston. So they'd be a little out of place in the Pacific Northwest. Swangus. Alright, so where are we headed? We are going to G1. It has some sort of service station that I have not yet scanned. It's full of electricity. Crackling crawlers and wriggling wrecks, which I hate. Shocked Taurus, which are pretty bad. So yeah, it's unfun. Unfun zone. There are mods on Nexus for this game already. Most of the mods are just like small tweaks of like storage is bigger, storage is smaller, things are more durable. Nothing really overhauling, as far as I know yet. But in due time, maybe. So here is the resource radar power. There is a box truck there, and an ARDA investigator, and as you can see, I let out the ping, and it highlights it for me. So everything of point of interest around me just gets highlighted, boom. Makes it so much nicer. Doesn't stay up forever, so you do... Oh, arrow shifter, sweet. So you do have to, like, move on it. But yeah, it's one of the things that... It's a quality of life improvement that, like, I really just don't like living without. And yeah, one could make the argument if this is my last run, it is a little weird that I'm looting, but I might find something cool that you guys are interested in. Who knows? It would be even stranger just to, like, it'd be unnatural just to beeline to the exit without looting on the way. So some personal preferences that I've already shared. The wind turbines are amazing for power gen because all you have to do to generate power is to drive fast or be in wind, and you can pretty much guarantee that you can do one of those things like whenever. So if you're going to be using high power draw abilities like the resource radar above me, having the wind turbines is pretty necessary. Or some way to generate power. Oh, that's a wriggling wreck. Nice try, Satan. Oh god, I spun out. Because it's muddy. So there's other power generation, like solar panels, rain hydro generators when it's raining. But as you can see, it's not always all that sunny above me. And it doesn't rain super often. That's why I'm all team wind turbine. I haven't read guides about this, about like what's meta or whatever. I don't know what, like, I mean, these are just derived from my own anecdotal personal experiences of trying every upgrade out. Some of the upgrades sound cool, but pretty underwhelming. Some of them are pretty weak sauce on paper and are amazing. So yeah, it's all personal preference here or there. But I do like using abilities, and I don't like running constantly out of power, so... Free power is nice. So, the touch and go. This part of the zone is full of anomalies known for sudden accelerating vehicles that they touch. Okay. And also, shocking speed. In this part of the zone, dangerous electrical discharges tend to confer mysterious speed boosts. Everything wants to send me flying in the trees. So, oh, and that was a wriggling wreck over there. But fortunately, I did not trigger somehow. So this zone is like, oh god, they're like built into the ground. This zone is trying to fling me. If you wanted to do a cannonball run, oh god, there's another one. Doing the cannonball run through this zone you would get this land speed records. Okay. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm going flying. Bye. Well, oh, Jesus. Glitter and boulder alert spawned on me. I'm super glad that I have a really armored car with high impact resist. Also, was there supposed to be unstable, oh yeah, no, this zone does have unstable power. Sometimes, uh-oh. So the real problem with, the touch and go and shock is if electricity touches your car takes off without you. Just full send without you. So that is one of the threats of the shocking speed. Is your car can take off and leave you in the dust, going like 100 miles an hour, like over a cliff. Oh, like this. So imagine if I wasn't in the vehicle at the time, I would be chasing this thing like a Benny Hill joke. I'm hopping in case that electricity hits me, so I can hit the brakes. The zone's already collapsing upon itself, so that's healthy. Oh, Jesus! Ah, I got electrocuted and sent to a building. Or a transformer. There are so many glittering boulders everywhere, oh my god. I did break my window of the car, but... Oh god, I don't want to touch that. Given how hostile this zone is, I'm not gonna fix it here. I'll fix it in the next one. Storm's already coming in and they're being flung into things. Yeah, some of the zones are really fun. Some of the zones just have the perfect storm of modifiers to be ridiculous. Maybe not challenging so much as just strictly ridiculous. So this one is like, this is a zone with another 2 modifiers, which is rather hilarious. It's pitch black, and the anchors are not on the map. So if you wanted to gain anchor energy, yeah, have fun with that. Eerie darkness and anchor obfuscation. So I'll show you the oh man. All right, you know what? Let's swap them. This door is fragile now, but because it's the one in front, I want it in better working condition. And luckily, all doors are universal. I know how ridiculous that is, but imagine how annoying it would be if every panel was, and every door was positional. Drive me crazy. All right, let's use up this blowtorch. Doing a little patch up because I got smashed around a bunch. I don't really care for the flashlight now. The reason is, and here's to back up my preference. When you're looting stuff, you can't have a flashlight out when you're like interacting with like crowbars to like crowbar things open and whatnot. So a flashlight is not super useful because often it won't illuminate the things that you need to see. So I like flares because you can light a flare and pop it on the ground and still have the room illuminated as you interact with the room, which is which makes life a lot easier, I think. All right, so the radar obfuscation. I don't know why I'm driving. I don't even know where to drive. Let's pull out the radar. Okay, there's no anchor. Oh, there was an anchor this direction. Really far in that direction. So that is like here. As you can see, it does not line up with the circles at all because this is a zone. This is an anchor obfuscation zone. So, if you're trying to get anchor energy in a zone like this, you need the radar gun. And the reason to unlock the radar gun pretty early on is like, let's say that this was the end of our run, and we needed more Kalim to gate out. Trying to wander around looking for anchors in a large zone that is like collapsing on you sucks. Sucks bad. So the anchor radar is pretty... Is that it? I see the Arda truck. I do need gas actually, so I'm gonna go out to that Arda truck. The resource scanner only scans resources, and anchor energy is strangely not one of the resources it scans. Ah, this thing had no gas. Boo. Oh, a free charge kit. This was a building, I guess. Pull out the radar again. Is it this direction? Sorta. And the time it takes to ping back is distance. It's very much sonar. So it's somewhere like that way. But so more like here, I'm gonna guess. Oh no, that's not even the right direction. More. Let's try to line. Line up the ping. Okay, even further back. Wow. Okay, I really got that wrong. Oh god, so it's somewhere in the mountains. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother with that. I don't need the anchor energy that badly. I don't really want to go way into the mountains or in the base of the mountain to find it. Looking at the what was that? What was that? I don't know what that was. kind of looked like a bollard, but it was like fiery. I don't know. It was odd. That's a menacing sound. Okay, there's like nothing. Oh, and that empty tank is not going to top me up. If I wanted to find fuel, I could also let out a resource ping. So there's like fuel can. Oh, you know, I hadn't actually tried to siphon from a fuel can yet. A fuel barrel, so I'll just show you that it doesn't have a ton of fuel. I said it, but I didn't demonstrate it, so I might as well. Yeah, pitch black with that sound, hard pass. So here's a fuel barrel that is half full. And as you can see, it doesn't have a lot of fuel. I just pulled everything out of it. And it was insane. The really high value loot, like, oh, that was a, ouch. The ARTA investigators and the box trucks. The resource radar is really amazing at finding them. Nope, rejected. Hey, rejected. Stop trying to latch me. Oh, yeah, it could have been a baller that hit tourists. And then the tourists blew up. That makes sense. I tend to like the more healthier pieces in front, cycling the fragile pieces like this one in back. Because you generally have a lot fewer rear collisions than front collisions. So it balances out the durability of your car a bit. Well, I am sorry, I'll do one more radar sweep. Maybe there's a... I don't think there's anything nearby. But at least you saw the ping back a few times, even though I didn't go and chase it down. And, where'd that flare go? Yeah. Pew! Pew! Works pretty good to illuminate the immediate area. Of course, it fades quickly, but it's handy. All right, next zone. But yeah, between the junction conditions, it really, each zone can really feel different. So this next one sucks bad. It's extreme. It will collapse quickly, and it will evaporate my fuel, and has intense radiation. Unfortunately, it also has a salamander grotto and a neon reef, so it has the swamp coral and the marsh eggs, but it's not the type of zone that you'd want to hang out in for very long, because you would melt. So it's situations like this, if you had the junction restabilizer, that with your extra scanner charges, you could reshuffle the zone and make it a little bit more habitable, to make it so that you could survive in it a bit. Oh, I just got a flat. Fine. A flat tire in a zone that evaporates my my fuel. Great. And I'm in a hot, irradiated area. At least there's fuel here. Yeah, the restabilizer, especially when you have a lot of scanner charges, can really make what would otherwise be... And I mean, I'm a digital masochist, right? So I kind of like difficulty, high-level difficulty. But if you don't, the restabilizer is a blessing then. Because you can remove nasty modifiers that you don't like and replace them with ones that aren't going to eat you alive. There's marsh eggs and neon coral and more marsh eggs. There's a lot of resources around here. I will go for the unstable land. Don't touch. Whoa, almost hit that dude. Dude dead. I don't know. Almost hit him. Oh, they're multiplied. Let's get out of here before there's 1,000 of them and I hit them. Oh god! I didn't hit them, but something did. That's the other thing, is like, the world is alive in a way that, like... Oh, not a pickpocket. Oh, what did you just steal? You stole my door. Give my door back. Right now, mister. Oh, well, you did steal the broken one. Storm's already coming in. All right, let's get the hell out of here. I'll grab the zone receiver. A little charge stop for the... What the hell? All right, so I know I have 0 power right now, but who put a freaking metal debris right in front of the charge stop? That was not so cool. Beam me up, Scotty. What happened to all my battery power? The limiter, like, sapped it all away. So, or me just, like, resource pinging. Crazy. There is a radio around here somewhere. There it is. In the middle of a high, hot dust irradiated zone. Glad that my character is,
So that's the history of the Olympic exclusion
wearing lead-lined
zone.
pants.
We know it absolutely existed, and that something blighted the area. Dr. Ophelia Turner was a real person who grew up there, and LIM technology, claimed to be her invention, was the reason the zone was created. The facts point to either the pursuit of LIM or the technology itself doing something terrible to the area, and maybe even to the people who stayed behind. For such a vast, valuable area as the Olympic Peninsula to be lost to the world for the indefinite future, someone needed to take the fall. The evidence in this corner paints the target square on the martyr part of this equation. Or did Dr. Ophelia Turner know what she was unleashing upon her homeland? If she did it willingly, then she would have been a monster. But if the government strong-armed her into it, then she would have had no choice but to become a martyr. To answer that question, we need more information still.
So this zone has fuel evaporation as a modifier. So my fuel is just disappearing out of my tank as soon as I fill it up. So I need to get out of here. So zones like fuel evaporation can be countered with an electric engine, of course, because when you don't use fuel to move around, you don't care when it evaporates. Storage container. Oh man, I've already lost like a sixth of a tank. Storage containers, like the fuel tanks that I have, are immune. It's the active what is in your tank which can be evaporated. So the trunk gunk and any extra fuel cans that I have are exempt. So if another... Wow, my fuel is so dying right now. Another tactic, of course, is to just bring a whole bunch of fuel cans with you. Given my current fuel situation... Oh, there's a fuel truck over here. All right, let's go for that. Thank you, Resource Radar. Holy hell. Oh my god. This terrain. Okay, fine. I'm not driving up there. Oh, it's too far. Alright, well, nothing like a bucket brigade for fuel. I could get closer, but this will work. It's not efficient, but it will work. So I'll top this extra spare tank up. This thing holds more gallons than the trunk gunk, and then I'll just get out of the zone. The zone is horrible on fuel economy. I'm not even gonna put this back. I'm just gonna go. We're almost at the exit, so yeah, this is one of those zones that you, as I said, entering it, you do not want to hang out in because it sucks bad. It wicks your fuel away. The storms are coming in. Just not the type of loot place. But here we go. This is the perpetually stable, nice, very high unstable energy story location. And right at the start, I have some vehicle maintenance to do because my car got tooled. It wasn't even that violent. It was just like the passive instability of that zone.
Hey, you ready, driver? Okay, first off, I've loaded up 3 locations on your ARC device map. You see them? Yeah, head to whichever strikes your fancy.
You're sending them to the visions?
Sure am. We're gonna use this.
My optical vassalizer. We shouldn't use that.
Why not?
I mean, it's been decades. No way that thing is in any sort of working shape.
I've been fixing her up in secret, and I'm sorry. Don't be mad. It's gonna be a surprise for your birthday. Oh, I've gone ahead and made an itty-bitty modification to your headset, driver. I've hooked up the basalizer here to modulate your scan function. Think of it like an extra layer of mayonnaise on your technology sandwich.
What are you using the vassalizer for?
No spoilers. We have to tell the story from the beginning. Driver, get ready to feast your eyes on the visions.
Oh, it's a weird headlight. What's special about it? It is... Oh my lord. Yeah, no, I'm gonna leave that here. So that headlight?
So we told you about the mass hallucination. Hundreds of people,
Oh, wait.
30 seconds of crazy, yada yada. But there was one instance where that event and the remnants intersected. The story of Laura Cesari. Laura worked at ARDA as an executive secretary. She put in her hours, but she spent her evenings with a real passion. Painting. When the hallucination event swept through, Laura was overtaken like everyone else. But for her, the visions didn't stop. She tried painting them, but grew frustrated at her inability to recreate what she saw. Now at first, ARDA wrote her off as one of the many whose brains got scrambled by what they saw. Until Laura stumbled across a rusty can of paint in the woods. It was a remnant. Once she started using this paint, the visions in her paintings began to come true. She painted feverishly for over a year, chasing the visions the entire time. Until the day the paint ran empty.
And then she disappeared. Like all remnant holders do.
Now that we know the remnants and the mass hallucination are related, maybe Laura's visions can help us out.
So a bit of a story recap. This car is a remnant. A remnant hasn't been explained as to how they are, why they exist or whatever. But essentially they're like cursed objects in the zone that people become obsessed with. This is just what the story has told us so far, so I don't want to spoil past this point. But cursed objects that people become obsessed with that are effectively bound to them. So the car is bound to me. And the current working theory that Francis and Tobias have, Oppie does not care about remnants, but Tobias and Francis, their working theory is that the people go crazy and like wander into the woods and die. But the remnants have a very powerful connection. So they were sending me to track down the Visions, which is this Laura character who painted prophecies with a remnant. Because it's a mix of hallucination and remnant, combining. So that's what this quest is about. Because Oppie basically had a hissy fit and like hung up on us. And was like, all right, well, if you want to direct the driver, I'm not going to be involved.
This is where your theory comes.
The great pile-up. You know, if you catch the mural at the right angle, when the moon is right overhead, you can spot the helmsman's body in one of the boats.
No chance. It's a paint smudge. Nothing more.
Believe me, it's true. I've seen it.
I think I skipped a voice thing there. I wonder if I can re-trigger that.
Hey, is it just me or did this mural look different before?
Probably the instability messing with the paint over time. It's been decades after all.
Nah, something's definitely off. Hey, where's our old notes from when we took a field trip out that way? Driver, why don't you go ahead to the next one while we investigate this?
So that headlight that I found had good electrical resist and it had negative 300% piercing resist. Meaning that if I installed it, it would have made my bumper... Oh, my lights turned on and I didn't do that. Okay, my wipers are turning on. I didn't do that either.
You know, I'm telling you, the helmsman never made it out of the zone. He died here.
Not this again. I still don't know why you're so convinced he existed in the first place.
Driver, back me up here. This is how the story goes. It was the winter of '72. A ship set sail down the Columbia River 100 miles east of here. The helmsman was overcome by bad weather, and while in a particularly foggy patch, the boat hit something, and the impact threw him from the deck. When he woke up, he was on a boat on this very lake, smack in the middle of the zone, with no idea how he got there. He had with him a ridiculous amount of cash and paid anyone and everyone to get him out of the zone. But no matter how he tried to leave, on foot, in a transport, he would always head into a fog and reemerge on another boat. At last count, the great pileup was 20 boats high and 30 boats wide.
A limb duplication glitch, nothing more.
And you, of all people, blaming limb tech instead of a good old-fashioned mystery?
It doesn't add up. Artist's favorite pastime was carting people out of the zone. How could someone actually fail to escape? And a mysterious man with a backpack full of cash, and the one place he can't spend it.
Seems awfully fishy to me.
So yeah, that was the story that I had, it had hiccuped when I scanned the mural. Looking for fuel siphoning. Bigfoot.
The Bigfoot mural. My personal favorite. Oh, did you see that, Francis? Oh, Oh boy, Francis, look! Look here, it's different from our sketch when we visited in 82.
It's all scrambled, but the shape seems familiar. If you tilt your head, doesn't that kind of look like Mount Olympus?
Oh, Francis, you flippin' genius! It absolutely is! Wait, let's look back at the first one. What's different there?
That shape right there, is that Hook Valley?
Holy smokes! Oh, wait, pull up all the topographical maps of the peninsula. If we look around the areas where you get that view of Mount Olympus... See, Francis? I told you your basilizer would work!
I don't think this is the basilizer's doing.
Driver, we're on to something. Get to that third vision.
Oh, bubblegum someone else. Don't touch me.
Driver, if you come across a mushroom like the one in the mural, do not eat it. No matter how tasty it might look.
You're speaking from personal experience. And let me tell you, it wasn't pretty.
Oh, just thinking about it makes me want to puke all over again. You've probably passed the biogenerators by now. They're our source of power in the mid-zone, and one of the best demonstrations of renewable limb tech.
Yes, these battery farms keep our lights on, but more importantly, they're also the only place in the entire zone where anomalized mushrooms grow.
And guess who turned out to be the world's biggest fan of those mushrooms? Bigfoot itself!
And the vision foretold its arrival in the zone.
It started when those pods hanging from the battery farms were found chewed up. At first,
They blamed it on the local wildlife. This was back when we used to have some. Then, the sightings of 10-foot-tall creatures started that didn't attract much attention on their own.
Not until the first footprints were found. The Olympic Peninsula has always had a collection of Bigfoot sightings, but they were rare until Bigfoot had its first taste of the anomalized mushrooms. Then it couldn't stay away. That's when the Squatches came knocking. They jumped the walls, set up camp, and they got to investigating. Once they learned of the Sasquatch's appetite for these mushrooms, they cultivated entire farms of the stuff.
for months they propagated mushrooms and set traps. And for months, evidence mounted that Sasquatch was making its rounds and evading those traps. Until one night, the experts disappeared.
Bigfoot got them, no question.
Come on, all 8 at once? How is that possible?
Never get in the way of a hungry Sasquatch. So about that last vision. I can't. Yeah, I can't even look at it. Francis, you explain it.
Maybe you've already seen them, driver. A freestanding bright blue door in its frame, out in the wilderness with nothing around it. If you do see one, don't get anywhere close to it.
I don't want to talk about it.
He was pretty close to a doorway when it opened. It's called the inverting doorway. When the door is shut, it's safe. But once in a while, it opens, and everything near it is turned inside out. Its victims are mostly bears, squirrels, and birds. They all go through hell. Meat and bones on the outside, fur and feathers on the inside. It's not fun to see. Once, a group of hikers didn't heed the warning, and
No, we're done here, driver. If you see one, you stay away from it. That's all you need to know. Let's go.
Tobias and Francis very much remind me of like a click and clack duo, or like how 2 radio DJs would riff off of one another. So that is the mural.
Doorway.
I don't like this one. Oh, bingo!
See that pattern in the last mural? That flower only grows above a certain elevation. And then put the 3 locations together, and you've got a square mile in the northeast corner of the deep zone. Huh. The visions were pointing towards something the entire time.
Hey, Hoppy. You can stop pretending to ignore us now. Take a look at this fine work. We've pinned down the location for the source of the mass hallucination. That's where the driver needs to go.
Well, what do you know?
Well, I knew the basilizer worked.
What did I tell you, huh?
He still doesn't know, Francis.
You know what? Uppy?
Not my story to share.
Did I just pop a tire? Yes, I just popped a tire.
My theory, and that basilizer, they're illegitimate.
Wait, what are you saying?
I built that device to prove my imprint theory, and it was on the verge of getting the results I needed. But my research funding was running out. So...
I forged the data. Not much, just enough to justify more time. I was so close. I knew the breakthrough was right around the corner. But Ara found out. That's why I was reassigned and my clearance revoked.
Wait. You told me you changed labs voluntarily.
8 years of research with nothing to show for it. And then for that to happen, I couldn't face you.
That doesn't mean your theory is wrong. I still think there's something to it. There's a common thread with some of the remnant stories, like the telephone switchboard. The ones that seem to recall the past somehow. Maybe the remnants access those imprints, run them like a needle in the groove of a record.
Don't. You don't have to do that. It's in the past. I don't care about it anymore.
Yep, I was gating out. It's the priority at the top, is to get to a gateway and return to the outer shop. So, yeah. 8.1 unstable
Interesting
energy.
about that deep zone area you identified. I ran every coordinate in that area through the auto database, and what turns up?
But access logs with entry records for Dr. K up through March 1963.
What? No, the doctor died in 1961. In the lab accident.
So we were told. Then, I found access logs for both that deep zone site and Red Meadow. Years and years worth of activity.
Red Meadow Research Facility? But it was demolished the same year. After the structural damage caused by the... They lied about that too, didn't they?
It appears so. The driver should give the Red Meadow ruins a visit. If Dr. K didn't die that day, I'd like to know what was keeping him so busy.
So would I, but... Do we have time for this? We don't know how long the driver's got with that remnant.
And that's why we need this information. Whatever Dr. K was doing relates to all of this. It may be the key to what lies at the end of the road for the driver.
I... agree with you. God, I hate saying that.
Driver, I've marked the Red Meadow facility on your route planner. Head there whenever you're ready.
We are coming up on the end here. I just want to square everything away in case I ever continue. So replace the fragile armor doors that were busted up. And doing a little inspection, making sure that the things inside don't break. Like your auto parker, that can go fragile and break on you. And everything can except for your auto dock. It's very easy to remember, like if you start fussing around the where'd my fuel? Oh, the fuel got sucked in. If you start fussing around the lab, it's very easy to forget that to refuel and recharge and things like that. The driving planner will inform you to recharge and refuel your car, but not necessarily the nested cans and things like that. So it's very much in your best interest to do that first thing you get home so you don't, like, forget. Because being out and about without backup material, like if I didn't have that spare fuel can in that fuel evaporation zone, I would have legitimately been in a really bad way. I was pretty close to the exit, so I probably could have siphoned things out. But had I not been so close to the exit, it would have been really bad because I was out of fuel, the storm was coming in, the fuel evaporation was ridiculous, so if I didn't get a car that had a decent amount of fuel, well, I'd be pretty boned. And depending on the settings that you have, death can be pretty bad. So the failed run penalty normally is lose some items, which is actually quite a lot of items, but you can definitely ramp that up to lose everything if you want it to be Iron Man hardcore. Well, yeah, not technically Iron Man, but you get the point. So this is where I'm going to leave off without having spoiled anything beyond this point. So that if I whet your appetite for a game like this, you can dive right in, and there's still lots left to discover. Thank you for tuning in to Pacific Drive, which streamed as a marathon one time only March 16th and March 17th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below, but please keep in mind that both no feedback can be incorporated because this was streamed as a marathon one time only, and also I ask for no spoilers so people reading the comments don't have the game spoiled for them. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com or the description of this video have a link to it. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, viewers that turned out for this marathon, and viewers like you as well that made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow breachers.